It's about start a podcast. Start a podcast. You need to start a podcast.
Let's start a podcast now.
You should start a podcast.
To start a podcast.
Start a podcast.
Oh, start a podcast.
Start a podcast.
Start a podcast.
If y'all try to start a podcast, I'm suing the pants off of y'all.
Podcasts have taken over. They are everywhere and everyone has one.
We're not filming anything ourselves, no. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
In this medium, you can get anything from true crime and bro science to interviews and real science, comedy, relationships, the list goes on and on. But what sets podcasts apart? And what makes them anything more than just some people talking in a room into some microphones? What would innovation look like for podcasts? Similar to black and white silent films transforming, elevating to colorized movies with sound, action, and more, what would it look like for podcasts to radically transform? Well, I think there's one podcast who is pushing innovation in this medium more than anything else I've seen. Pushing forward so much, the disparity between this show and its competition is getting to be a larger and larger gulf to work to. And that show is...
Welcome, everybody, to the H3 Podcast Experience.
It's rewind time.
As a comedy variety show and interview podcast, what does H3 do? And what does H3 have that puts them so ahead of everyone else? They're very visually stimulating, making an audio-only listen only a fraction of the show's experience. They have an amazing team that pushes the show forward. Their technical production setup is far beyond anything else I've seen. While most comedy podcasts are just comedians talking to each other, H3 commits to the bit and looks for unique, creative ways to do comedy, going much further than most other podcasts. And the way they give back to their fans really shows their dedication to going the extra mile. Most podcasts are visually not that interesting. Podcast sets can be lazy, random, bland to look at, or all three. Often, watching podcasts does not add anything to the experience other than getting to see who's talking. H3 pushes against this with their constantly improving set and visual quality, as well as their collection of segments that you need to watch to fully appreciate them and have full context. On most episodes, the show does not have a guest, so they thrive off reacting to visual content like the news, funny videos, or original segments created in-house, including games and contests held by the crew.
Oh yeah. It's done, dude. It's done. Call the contest now.
Perfect. Ooh, that felt hard.
It looks intact.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cracked, bro. It's fucking cracked.
Why is this happening to me?
With interviews, they talk to both Hollywood and internet celebrities, bridging together legacy media and new media. This is something that legacy institutions like SNL or The Tonight Show has failed at for some time, because they simply don't understand internet culture. H3 was born in internet culture, but they're also very down to earth and are able to have amazing shows with Hollywood figures. These interviews are not just something to listen to in the background, but are visually entertaining as well, by showing guests funny videos,
how to do the hamburger with your dick in your balls,
or doing segments like a spicy chip challenge, or literally squashing the beef with past enemies turned new friend.
I did one squashed beef. I'm happy.
Some of the people they talk to are so funny and so specific, you just have to watch.
Wake up.
Similar to David Letterman checking in on his next door bodega guy, or Howard Stern regularly having crazy call-ins, H3 has a ton of unique people they found online who call in regularly. They've built a cast of likable recurring characters like Dr. Ids, or David from P&P Law Firm, who's basically the real-life Saul Goodman.
He's actually a good guy, and I don't like representing actual innocent people. It's so much pressure for me, because it's like,
Whoa. Hold on. Back up. I don't know if I misheard you.
It's really difficult representing people who are totally innocent, but falsely accused.
With a lot of these characters, not watching the interview and seeing these guys for who they are would only tell half the story.
How you doing? Yeah, that one. How you doing? How you doing? It's Friday, baby. Shit in my asshole, baby.
Outside of the interviews and internet reaction content, H3's in-house segments are perhaps the most visually crucial. They play tons of games like Silent Library, or truly creative segments like having a clay sculpture contest between the crew.
Hold on. Let's just... What? Dude, what? I'm kind
Oh my god, what?
of speechless.
Now having established that you really need to watch the show, this begs the question, is it nice to look at? Well, cosmetically, H3 has a lot going for it. From their nature background that changes with the seasons, to custom on-screen graphics, there's a lot of fun stuff. And with camera quality alone, they have many shows beat. They film the show on professional Canon production cameras, and it's well lit. Comparing H3 to other YouTubers also shows how important quality is to them. It's hard to believe that someone who's been on the platform as long as Keemstar still had his show filmed on a white wall with an overexposed camera as recently as last year. I mean, look at his histograms. Boom, overexposed. Boom, overexposed. Boom, shitty 1-point lighting with bad shadows. But as far as how H3 uses visuals creatively, and not just for appealing cosmetics, they do a ton of fun stuff. The After Dark set has evolved with quality and often has inside jokes that are fun to look at, whether it's gifts sent to them or decorating the set to be the Ryan Kavanaugh accused by ex-partner of running a Ponzi scheme podcast. They use the green screen comedically, pushing it to its limit with the Off the Rails intro.
Here is Ethan Klein.
But also use it practically for segments like the Thanksgiving special or Content Court. These segments take a lot of work, and that is where H3 succeeds with another huge point in innovation, having an amazing team built on very intentional hiring.
I like the work week. You know, I'm excited to come into work, which is maybe the first time in my life. I mean, I like this podcast, but it's gotten more as our team's gotten better, and y'all have taken more and more off me. It's become a joy and something I look forward to instead of something that's just like work. You know what I mean?
Who is the team that pushes the show to do so much and makes it such a joy for Ethan to host? Let's start with the person who builds so much of the props, sets, and games for H3's original segments. Sam. Sam works for the show as a creative director and prop master, making incredible things for the show. Backgrounds for the employees, a custom plushie for Bella Porch, leading an art class for a clay sculpture segment. Sam does a lot. So much so, she also does art direction for Ela's company, Teddy Fresh. Double threat! Once a fan living across the country, it's really incredible to see Sam's identity on the show go from this...
Ian, now tell me, who is this?
...to this.
Sam, she's amazing. She's very sweet.
Wait, who's Sam?
You're Sam.
Oh my God, what is wrong? Wait, hold on. I need a minute to recover.
Moving on, let's talk graphics. Cameron Grant. Cam Grant's role on the show has not only elevated the comedy and quality significantly, but what he does may be unprecedented in the podcast space. As their lead graphic designer and video editor, he not only designs them amazing virtual sets and backgrounds, such as the season-changing nature background, but when he was given a $20 billion budget just to look at the compound he was able to make for the Leftovers series. Not to risk their security, but if I had to guess, it looks like it's built in the wall of the Hoover Dam, but that's besides the point. Sure, video editing and virtual sets are things that other shows have, but what Cameron is likely known most for is truly original. Cam creates memes live on air, hilariously depicting whatever's being talked about in the moment.
You can actually see in the reflection of his glasses, there's kids in cages right behind the camera.
Oh no!
Actually, I just want to say that was an amazing one, Cam. I love that was really clever and great. Yeah. Cam just sent that and he said, "Did you notice his sunglasses?"
A recent favorite example of this was when Bobby Lee was saying he could never be a hacker because he doesn't even know how to use a computer, until Cameron sent in some contradicting evidence.
So you pretend not to use computers.
You're pretending you don't know
but you actually have a
Wait, how
cave.
did you come up with that right now? I just found it.
Yeah. You have an underground layer with fucking 20 monitors.
With so many different cameras in the room, clips on screen, and background graphics to show, there's a lot of possibilities on what to show the audience. And who's better to run the switchboard than...
Beautiful. Hold on, I gotta talk about how Ian has this formatted. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Olivia's O. Love is K.
Olivia.
Cam is H, I think.
Okay, so this is right. Olivia's up now.
The comedic timing of the show is no accident. Ian running the switchboard is responsible for cutting to the right person because they're trying to talk.
I said no, okay?
Yeah, I know you said
Well,
no.
I backed his story.
And I also use that to...
one at a time. This is my show. You guys listen, I talk. Zach, quiet.
Or cutting to the right reaction because it's the funniest edit.
I forget what I was going to say.
Ian's gotten so good at this, he can operate even when he's dying under the table due to a food challenge.
Any regrets? Does anyone wish they could take it back?
I think Ian does right now.
Ian.
Absolutely.
Ian, he's like hunched over, man.
He just like knows the buttons.
Ian's dead, dude.
Yeah.
He's still switching, though. He's still switching in the afterlife.
It's the phantom. It's the phantom.
Ian, they say you're the goat on the switchboard. I think this proves it.
Rigor mortis.
This man is
It's
straight
actually
up.
very impressive.
Ian is the quietest for a reason, having to spend more time focusing on everybody else and who to cut to rather than talking himself. But when he is on screen, he's hilarious. And all of this is why he's now a lead content writer, preparing show segments and also creating original sketches for the show. But you can see Ian's personality with how he creatively uses the green screen.
I'm just on that pure COVID, baby.
Cass, sign me up, dude.
I was telling Zach, I feel like I've been, I've been blasting off.
Ian just switched his background to a spaceship. What? Who's playing this music? Go ahead, Ian. I'm not going to interrupt. This is your show now. Oh, what the fuck is this? Ian just put on a space helmet.
We're blasting off, baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta blast
What
off,
is
man.
going on? Dude, Ian's got to I think you need COVID forever, bro.
I need everyone watching to blast the fuck off right now.
Making Ethan small when he's trying to do a Godfather impression.
I come to you in this time of need. When everybody has my back, finally, you break my heart, Philly D.
Or celebrating his birthday.
Or wait, aren't you like 6 years, 7 years older than me?
No.
42?
No,
minus
40
35?
No,
yeah, that's 7.
37.
42 today. 42 today.
It's not, my birthday's in June. I mean, you can Google it.
All right, that's enough. Cut it, Zach.
From music to sound bites, H3 would feel empty without all of the sounds played in the show. And who controls them all?
Got him.
Zach the Sound Lad. Zach's talent as the Sound Lad is insane and unmatched. Dan, the lead producer, once held the title of Sound God, hence Zach's Sound Lad name.
Zach the Sound Wizard.
I thought he was a lad.
Yeah, he's not lad.
Lad is kind of busy.
Dan's the wizard.
Dan's the wizard.
Right, you're the wizard. Sorry.
We can't have competition here.
Zach, you have become the dream. You are the soundbite god. You are the music then sound god. You have evolved so much over this year, and the drops are just, they drop from heaven. If I can be so bold.
I remember when we kind of got upset the first time Zach did the Ian I got a pee soundbite.
Oh, I was like,
we were like,
yeah.
It sounded like Ian really said it.
Ian, why does it bother you so much?
Because it's fake news. I don't need to pee. I'm good. I gotta pee so bad. No, I don't.
I hate it too. It sounds like he's talking.
Yeah, the sound.
I can't tell that it's a soundbite.
I like it now. At first, the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would that be on there? Because I actually thought Ian said it.
Exactly.
But now that I know it's a gaff, it must stay.
So bad.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, don't do that.
So
it's confusing.
But I think all fans now would agree that Zach is the goddamn sound wizard. His talent has surpassed not just Dan, but his inspirations such as The Howard Stern Show. So what does Zach do that elevates the show so much? For one, he helps steer the show away from dead air and boring moments, always keeping it engaging with music. He has different songs for different occasions, such as runway music for advertising clothing drops, fun piano lobby music for when Ethan steps away, which helps subtly indicate to the audience that they're essentially in an intermission, sad music for melodramatic moments, or even Italian music for Ethan's Godfather impressions.
I tell you, if I die and one of you fuckers come for my hair, I will curse you.
Don't worry, I already got it.
Yeah, okay. If one of y'all come to my tomb and try to exhume some of my beautiful locks, I will curse you for all eternity. Hey, I don't know nothing about nobody. Hey, you want some hair? How about a fist?
Zach has all occasions covered. Just compare the energy of this first ad read from 2020.
Let me describe to you what is so incredible about Ridge Wallet.
To a modern 2022 ad read.
We love it. I love my sponsors. They're the greatest. Today's episode is sponsored by PayPal Honey, the easiest way to shop when shopping on your iPhone or computer.
But Zach's biggest staple is his sound bites. Instead of generic morning radio sounds like DJ scratches or an air horn.
Hold on.
Excuse me?
Dude, you better...
Oh, enough
Dude,
with the
record
fuck.
scratch.
What the fuck is that?
We can't do the record scratch.
What the fuck is that?
He literally, and he did his own record scratch. You see him hit it.
Fucking insulting.
Dude, let's.
Zach has an arsenal of highly specific, hilarious sound bites that are truly unique. Zach will clip audio from the show for future use, whether it's a member of the crew talking or from a funny video that they were watching.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Dalai Lama asking a boy to suck his tongue? That was crazy.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Kid Rock.
Oh, no.
So let's just get right into it.
That took me a
No, not like that, Kid Rock.
Oh,
But feeling a little frisky today. Suck on my tongue.
And suck my tongue.
Oh no, there's a sound drop.
Different types. There's one called I think it's called smart lipo, which is like they take a laser and just are like burning the fat. It's non-invasive.
Smart lipo.
It's not that smart though.
And suck.
It's gnarly.
Smart lipo Beverly Hills, baby.
Essentially functioning as audio memes, the concept is simple enough, but Zach's creativity is what pushes this so far. For one, he's constantly clipping things you would never think to use, but also, when he thinks to use them for comedy, has really become an art form that he's the master of.
Now, AB, you want to grab Cam's arm and hold on tight. Hold on as hard as you can, like you're about to kidnap this kid. Okay. You got plans for this kid, boy.
That is so true.
All right, so now he's
no.
So now he's saying just push the thumb.
This skill pushes the comedy forward, but also the fan base, because it allows these inside jokes to get funnier and funnier the more the references stick around and gain more and more comedic context as he keeps using them. What may start out as an innocent line, never intended to be funny, eventually rolls like a snowball down a mountain into being a comedic avalanche.
I
want to smell feet.
Really? You want to smell my feet? I do have beautiful feet.
Zach,
you said that. That's a soundbite.
Zach, I don't believe you.
You said I want to smell feet. It was there.
You said it.
You said it.
Impossible.
Play it again, Zach.
I want to smell feet. That's not me.
Put on.
I want to smell feet.
You want to
Never
smell...
said that.
What are you talking about? It's right there. It's a soundbite of it.
I want to smell feet. It doesn't even sound like me.
It's literally unmistakable.
I want to smell feet.
And as a foot fetishist, I get it. You want to drape your feet in something
I
nice.
still want to clarify that I never said that.
Well, you said I want to smell feet, so I'm not sure.
I think it's AI.
Play it again, Zach.
I want to smell feet.
Yeah, no, that's real. You said that.
I think we live in a simulation. It should say...
Dude, that's a good...
I want to smell feet.
I want to smell feet is pretty funny.
I'm not going to utter that.
What about...
Hila just did, though. That's a soundbite.
That is a soundbite, yeah.
Oh, no.
This has now evolved to the point that Zach is creating his own sound bites outside of the show, stringing together words spoken by people they make fun of into sentences that were never actually said, but they can be used for highly specific comedic moments. Take for example Jordan Peterson, a commentator that the show regularly makes fun of for being pretentious and substanceless. Now, Zach has made fake sound bites of him saying ridiculous things like...
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you're talking like that about money, it's like, what kind of scam are we talking about? Because it's got to be a scam.
Rats will dance for money if you pay them. I did not fuck my dog.
What? What? What the fuck was that,
sus.
Jordan?
That's super suspicious. Wait,
please.
Jordan, did you have more to say?
I did not put my dick anywhere near my dog.
While that soundbite may be a bit crass and on the nose, Zach has started clipping together things that no one would ever think to.
This podcast actually is from June
Something like that this past summer.
But he's talking about how he muted me on Twitter. Okay.
It was in June this year.
What? Why would you even cut that?
You never know, man.
This is truly Zach working as a refined minimalist with his craft. This joke is so funny because it is so unexpected. Why would the soundbite exist, and why would Zach think to make it? Who knows? But that's why he's the best. He's always on the ball, playing them at the funniest moment and faster than you could time. And that's why he receives so many compliments from guests.
Your intestines just falls out of your asshole.
Ow.
But the one that you showed, this is the Olympic.
Your sound guy is really good.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great. We have a lot of
You are really good.
That's Zach. Back there.
I love you, Howie.
I love you too.
Dude, the sound bites are great. I hope I get sound bites out of this.
One guy, specifically Zach, right? Specifically for sounds.
Yeah.
That's how I knew that I was in the presence of a great program.
Yeah.
Because normally the sound guy does a number of jobs.
You're so fast with it, Zach.
It is very impressive.
Zach's ability to make a mental association between what's happening and a soundbite is both creatively impressive, but also ridiculously fast.
Oh, and then there's a new season of Mob Psycho 100. Like, where did that come from? So I'm watching that now.
The mob.
Wow, Zach.
How?
How the fuck did you get that so fast?
Jesus.
The mob.
I've been doing this long enough.
Yeah, that was crazy fast.
You're, I mean, it's impressive, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
He heard Ethan, then thought of a joke he could make with a related soundbite, had to find it in his audio system filled with hundreds of other sounds, and played it, all in 4 seconds. And this has been happening a lot lately.
It's like the puffer fish, you know, you got to prepare it right to get all rid of the little poisons.
The puffer fish, right? The one that turns into a circle.
Are you fucking serious? How did you do that so fast?
The goat.
How did you hit the puffer fish so fast? Literally, and I've never said puffer fish like ever on this show.
I have everything, man.
That was shocked. That one was got me. You got me on that one.
Okay, wow, thank you.
I mean, that was fast, man. Puffer fish?
Puffer fish.
I think the biggest and best culmination of Zach's work with the soundbites has been the evolution of the Off the Rails intro. What originally started as Zach just playing the sound of a train crash
Off the rails
turned into a train crash, machine guns, and Jeff Bezos laughing. Little by little, Zach added more and more topical sound bites, and the audience demanded it to be longer and longer. And now, on Wednesday's Off the Rail episode, the intro is a 2-minute audio-visual masterpiece, collaborating with Ian for supporting visuals.
Welcome, though. Man, we got a show today. Oh, right. Let's go! Oh, no, not Howie! Get him out of here! No! The apocalyptic prolapse.
500 souls! This is why I'm watching. Where is Bing?
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
What a journey.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
There's more.
No.
Jesus,
No.
you guys.
No. No.
Wow.
Oh, my God, you
Holy
guys.
crap.
Wow.
Oh, my God. What was
Exhausted.
that? How long was that one?
But 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
So it's 4 seconds longer than the last time.
Yes.
Okay.
The crew is highly creative. They constantly find ways to take practical things and transform these essentials into comedy. They leave no stone unturned. They hired Love, an employee who lives in Sweden and has to zoom into the show. And instead of wallowing in the complications of that arrangement, they embraced it for comedy with Lovebot, a remote controllable robot that Love lives in and can cruise around the studio.
Love gets a head start. How you feel, Love?
Just put me back on my feet.
Oh shit!
When Love's favorite creator, Pokimane, came into the studio and he couldn't physically meet her from Sweden, they found a way.
Against all the odds, and at great length and effort, we have revived a brand new and improved LoveBot 2.0. Love, welcome. How do you feel now to be back in a revived LoveBot?
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm almost a real boy. I think this counts. Yeah, I'm very excited though. What's up?
And all these creative ideas can't just be thrown together. They need a strong infrastructure. This is H3's next pillar of innovation, their achievements in show production from a technical standpoint. In their studio, they have multiple sets all next to each other. They are well lit with professional lights, lighting the hosts, but also keying out the green screen very well.
Can you show Lena? There's a bit of a shadow behind her. I wonder if we could get an extra light there to blow out the shadow.
Their audio quality is great, giving Zach 2 audio racks of equipment to work with and using nice microphones. Similar to my criticism earlier of podcasts and YouTube channels having lackluster camera quality compared to H3, audio is also a common issue.
We just hit 17 million freaking subscribers. So
it's crazy to me how many rich YouTubers record their audio on bad microphones in their house that has as much echoing as a church cathedral falling down a well under an overpass. Meanwhile, Zach is always on it, always trying to control quality, even if it's a slight noise coming from a fan.
Dan just gave me a fan. This fan is so quiet. A low noise fan?
Yeah, they're just real quiet.
I wouldn't say low noise, but...
The layout of the set physically is great, having the sets right next to the crew's control desks. This allows the crew members to run in at a moment's notice if needed.
Rule with the iron fist, man. They're cruel dudes.
Oh yeah, I mean after the daily lashings, it's not bad. We got like an aloe station, that we all just rub each other.
Oh well,
down
that's
in.
nice.
No, it's cool,
what
man.
the
They're
fuck?
great.
AB?
They do.
AB's trying to grab my slice? Yo, what the fuck? You don't do that around here. AB, what? You out of your mind? These people.
But also, it makes the comedic chemistry flow much better. Previously, the original 3-man team was in a separate room, but the longer they got screen time, the more commenters asked them to stay. Now, having them all together in the same space makes the show feel more electric, but also more functional. And cosmetically, Sam has even built cool background sets for Cameron and Lena who sit outside of the main recording space. Now, however Dan has everything set up to run so seamlessly interconnected is a mystery to me, but it is clearly a feat of a lot of planning.
This was not the job description.
From the switchboard to 11 employees' computers, the cameras, physical audio interfaces, having everything set up to run so well together is very impressive. For some examples, even though Zach is the sound lad, lead producer Dan still has override power, which is a great backup if Zach is on set, but it also comes in handy if Dan needs to veto Zach, like when he got too drunk during their 420 segment. Guess who's high or drunk?
I might cut his mic soon.
Dude, Zach is turning into a liability.
It's a protective
Oh
measure.
my god.
Oh, come on.
On top of that, all of the crew members have a button they can push to flash a red X on screen as a way of voting that Ethan should abort the current subject.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Then the crew started using a technical difficulties button to fully censor Ethan if he's being a bit too risky.
Brad the Bull posted this.
Yes.
Is that okay, Dan? That's awesome. What the? Let me see that again.
But now, replacing both of those measures, the show invested in a $20,000 broadcast button, which streams the show on a slight delay, which allows Ethan to delete the last 30 seconds from the live, so no one will ever see whatever he regrets saying.
You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Oh yeah.
Even this has become a recurring comedic element of the show, joking they should hit the button over and over again to go back in time, or recently when Ethan hit the button like less than a minute into the show and they weren't even sure what would happen.
Look, I mean, where the frick should I really even start? I've got hoes. What happens if I do it at the top? I thought, why not? We'll get our first button at the top.
What the fuck? It's literally gonna be the
Well, welcome to the show, everybody.
What the fuck?
As I said earlier, they often have scheduled call-ins from guests via video chat. Additionally, they have also stepped it up, being able to call in unplanned guests at the drop of a hat, seemingly with little difficulty. For example, they called in Twitch streamer Hassan Piker to briefly talk with their in-person guest and gave him the option of talking via Discord or Zoom.
How is he viewing us right now?
He called in via Zoom.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zoom.
And he's live on Twitch.
Oh, wow, that's
Live
quick.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking good quality.
We got that. We got all the tech.
Okay, wait.
This is super impressive to me because while the show is being live broadcast out, they are also receiving signal in from Hassan, casting Hassan's call feed into the show for the audience to watch. But Hassan is also able to hear both Ethan and Bradley talk because the show microphones are connected to the video call. No new equipment was needed to be brought in, it was all just set up to go. I was curious if Hassan was visually just seeing Dan's laptop camera or a single show angle, so I checked his Twitch stream that was happening simultaneously, and on his end it looks like he was receiving the show through the Discord call, which is really impressive. All of Ian's switchboard cuts are being sent through the call, and Hassan gets to interact with them live, seeing and hearing exactly what the audience does. There are so many technical achievements like this that drives the show forward, including being able to pick up a camera and do on-the-fly segments in the other room.
Alright, everyone ready? Alright, here we go, go!
Oh, Squid Games.
Oh, no,
Grip! It's the grip!
Or even having a B report live from downtown LA on Britney Spears' court case trial.
I'm guessing Britney's free. Because people are losing their shit. Hell yeah, brother.
Now, while all of this is very impressive from a technical standpoint, none of it matters if the show isn't funny. In my opinion, H3 Podcast is always committing to the bit and ready to do anything for a laugh. If you want evidence of Ethan committing to the joke, look no further than his costumes.
I will not be told what to do. Everybody's got an Uncle Nathaniel.
The best behaved.
Let's go! It's that H3 After Dark.
Let's fucking go!
Hey everybody, it's Ethan Exotic.
Hey, no, I'm dressed today, of course, as a Hasid. I'm Jeffrey. I'm Ethan Starr. You're comparing me to pig vomit?
I gave you guys my second.
I didn't even get to talk about my stupid fucking hair yet because I gotta adjust this damn thing. I kind of like it. I'm not even gonna hate. Like, I kind of like it, dude. It's a huge mistake.
I think up until the eyebrow, you look good.
I'm so disappointed because I was ready to fuck myself, dude. And then he says, "Showtime."
And wardrobe aside, it's deeper than that. Ethan doesn't care about embarrassing himself. He just wants to entertain and make the show better.
Would you put a slit in your eyebrow?
No, don't
like
do
the
that.
evil.
I'll do a slit.
You know, we have a meeting at Teddy Fresh after this.
We do?
Yes, we do.
And it's not just him. They all really push themselves to extremes to make the show its best self. Whether it's Zach bathing in a pool of mayo, Ian eating surstrumming for some money.
Oh my god.
How's it taste? Does it taste like it smells? Holy shit, he's quivering. He's not chewing, he just... So this is what he did last time. You have to kind of transcend mind and body.
Or whatever this was.
Oh, nasty.
Many of the extra mile things I've described in this video all lead to a central point, making the podcast better and funnier. Having everybody in the same room adds chemistry. Everyone being so good at their job makes the show funnier, from the sound bites to Cameron's memes. If they need to disavow a jackass they're criticizing, they make a graphic that says,
So now we have this.
Even the thumbnails and titles are exciting now. They always do fake, over-the-top clickbait that the fans know is fake, but usually holds some shred of truth. I Had to Get Surgery turns into a segment of them making fun of real-life limb-lengthening surgeries. Simply put, their stance on clickbait has changed, and now, instead of it being normal clickbait that is usually obnoxious and disappointing, It's another space where the show can be funny and have something to look forward to for fans. The show is willing to make ridiculous purchases for jokes, from Lovebot to the Gatsby mobility scooter, and maybe nothing compares to Dan's scorpion chair.
Nobody. Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God.
In 2023, the show started leaning more into experimental and avant-garde comedy. When Ethan was taking a little too long to finish eating on camera, the crew wound up green screening him into a McDonald's and playing restaurant ambiance, where he then decided to eat his entire meal to completion for 12 whole minutes in silence. This was met with a mix of live chat messages begging for it to stop or crying at how funny the dedication to the joke was. 5 days later, Ethan did the same thing, eating an entire Subway meal for 20 minutes this time. And at the end, it was revealed that they had Zach go to an actual Subway to record authentic audio, which is so ridiculous, I just love it. On another episode, when Ethan stepped away for the bathroom a little too long, he noticed that his guest Eddie had an uncanny ability to just monologue on and on to himself, filling time.
Okay, I'll be right back and then we'll hop into the next segment. Thanks.
Let's do this. Yeah. Always saying, yeah, I appeared on the H3 podcast, so go on YouTube and check it out, and, I'll try to follow you.
And so Ethan decided to just never return to his chair and see how long this would last.
I proposed to Tori Spelling on the set of 90210.
No.
Don't turn the TV on.
She said yes.
It's actually incredible. We're all like witnessing something that we've never seen before, which is like, he went for like a whole hour without pausing.
After a while, they decided to go forward with their scheduled call with Ethan's mom, but never explained to her what was going on.
You're the wardrobe people.
What's going on?
You go ahead and tie it. They're paying you to be the wardrobe. Could you do it for me?
This guy doesn't have a shirt on.
To make the insanity worse, they then looped in Uncle Gabe to the call, creating a cacophony of confusion between the three parties.
But I did do Grey's Anatomy a lot. I worked on that show a lot recently and through the years.
But the joke hit its peak when Ethan finally returned to the show, not in his host chair, but rather FaceTiming in from a McDonald's drive-thru.
Is he actually going through a drive-thru right now?
And can I get like 3 normal cheeseburgers? And then that's all.
It was a long, uncomfortable ride getting to this punchline, but I can't tell you enough how hard I laughed when it was revealed that Ethan wasn't even in the building anymore and was instead driving a car somewhere entirely else.
I want to ask something.
Yeah.
Is Ethan gonna bring me some McDonald's?
Frankly, they've done too many experimental bits this year to even list all of them, but my favorite was the episode when they replaced Zach with an imposter and refused to acknowledge it the entire episode, resulting in the live chat screaming for answers at the end in disbelief that it never got addressed or turned into an episode segment. Nor did the show acknowledge it in the following episodes since. It was just a one-off joke that you can tell they did for themselves more than anything. And with the bread and butter of the show, Ethan talking, his confidence has just gone through the roof over the years, and he has become a great host who is very comfortable in his role. Similar to Howard Stern, he will ask very direct questions to guests and get interesting conversations.
You're going to make these accusations. I'm going to have fun with
I
it.
want to say, a lot of people accuse you of taking steroids. People say it's not possible to have that body at your age.
Plus, I've conclusively proved that there's a YouTube video where we had a legitimate doctor come on.
You did a blood test?
Yeah, I mean, if you Google Liver King blood work, you can pull it up and, we go over everything. But
And while everyone from critics to Ethan himself now agree that when the show first started, he wasn't the greatest host and wasn't confident enough interviewing, now he's such a pro, he can dismantle idiotic critics like XQC so well that it's both informative and funny.
My first question for you to start is that, do you think your work is transformative? Of course, that's one of the main tenets of fair use.
Yes.
You do?
Yep.
Okay, because I was watching you yesterday, and here you said it's absolutely not transformative. Here it is.
1 hour later.
Fucking views you get. Oh, he's crying in the corner. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, that's content, man.
That was sick,
So much so, even people who hate Ethan, like Keemstar and Tristan Tate, conceded that H3 dominated the argument. Ethan's commitment to having strong morals and pointing out anything from stupidity to corruption makes him unwilling to back down from a fight, even including beefing with a literal billionaire on air who is quadruple suing him because it is so blatantly obvious Ethan is in the right.
Our very rights, our right to exist on YouTube, is under attack by Ryan Kavanaugh. This is the third lawsuit against me by an elite Hollywood executive. All I've ever done is read headlines of reputable news organizations. Who's that? That's Ryan Kavanaugh in the New York Times. Hollywood execs sued by babysitter and wage spat. Fox News! It was found that the memo had been generated by someone who signed it as CavCav. Now who do you think CavCav is?
It's Ryan Kavanaugh addict, guys.
It's a wild guess!
Where most people would settle these matters privately, Ethan is committed to sticking up for what he thinks is right and making comedy out of any situation when he can.
You go right at things. Like, you go right at it.
I think there's something wrong with me, I think.
Really?
Genuinely. I just don't like the feeling of someone being able to fuck me around.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think I've ever allowed someone to fuck me around, and I'll continue to keep doing that. No, and like, you know, obviously you have to, I don't know. I don't have that filter. I don't care. I'm crazier than you are by a lot. Like, when will people learn this? I'm fucking insane. I don't care. Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude.
And in the case of having irreconcilable differences with some critics ranging from cringy YouTubers to actual white supremacists, at that point he brings it back to entertainment and can be petty right back at them.
Today I was insulted by potentially the dumbest person alive.
Podcast is like literally like ass, like shit. Like, I could make a podcast and it would just be so much better. If me and Ant made a podcast, that shit would fucking blow him out the water.
Bro, how you gonna make a podcast when you're like barely literate?
God, I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Benito Mazzulli and Giviante Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro?
This is why I find it so ironic when Fallen fans say that they miss the old Ethan when he was H3H3 Productions. From my standpoint, it's the exact same shit. On his old channel, he was commentating and making fun of people on the internet, and now he's doing the same thing but with better production, and in my opinion is funnier. Sometimes these critics will say, why is Ethan the moral police of the internet? I don't think he's being a moral police, I think he's doing the same thing he always did that these fans used to like him for. He's making fun of people for being stupid and fucking up. Maybe in the past he made fun of this guy for being a tool, and now in present day he's making fun of Andrew Tate for being a human trafficker. The irony of how contradictory Fallen fan criticism towards Ethan is insane. Some people say what happened to him, all he does is call people out now, even though that was a major part of what his original channel was known for, and other people will say he's too woke now, even though moments later these very same critics will be so sensitive and offended just because he's mocking neo-Nazi Hitler fanboy Nick Fuentes by joking he would spear Jesus.
You want to talk about a Holocaust? You know, the real Holocaust was Jesus Christ being crucified.
If Jesus was here on a cross, I'd spear him! Yeah, like, whatever. I don't regret it. It was funny.
You know, obviously, since I'm not 2,000 years old and have never been to Rome, I'm not apologizing.
Frankly, I think that Ethan is doing what he's always done by commentating on the lunacy of these influencers, and perhaps some of his past fans just don't love that he's now ragging on people they like. It is laughable to act like Ethan is a snowflake who is afraid to be edgy. When it comes to making jokes, maybe now more than ever, he's willing to just go for it.
Not only Jews, but communists, homosexuals, and gypsies all perished in the chambers.
And it's a sexual dance.
So let's thank our sponsor today, HelloFresh. You know what's not going to be aborted? Your HelloFresh membership.
Okay, Zach, kill the music. Take off the graphic off the screen real quick, Ian. Hey, Ethan, why don't we do our ads?
Okay.
Today
For the first time.
Today's episode is sponsored.
In the past, I would say he should try to get the show suspended a little less often, but the man literally invested in a $20,000 broadcast button to make sure that he can always roll back the tape in case he goes too far or speaks out of turn. But the truth is, Ethan has changed, but that is something we should applaud him for. Never changing or growing as a person is not something to aspire to. This is a very juvenile mindset. While he still pushes comedic boundaries, if he ever realizes he is straight up speaking out of turn or saying ignorant, offensive things that could be based in harmful rhetoric, he has demonstrated that he wants to learn and grow from these experiences rather than complaining, quote, "you can't say anything anymore," like 99% of these other comedians do when they cry about cancel culture for the billionth time. Friend of Ethan and comedian Stavros Halkias from the famously hilarious and offensive podcast Cumtown said it best.
I think you can do a joke about anything, but if you do a domestic abuse joke, it has to be a great joke. And that was a fucking lazy joke. Right. That was my problem with it.
Right.
It's like, I don't think any subject matter is off, and that's the problem a lot of like comedians do, where they're being, you're silencing me, but it's like, no, man, that's some stuff is like nuclear weapons. And you have to be very trained to fucking deploy it. You can't just like willy-nilly try it. So yeah, you can say whatever you want, it just has to be good.
I think Ethan would agree you can joke about anything, and so he does. But the more sensitive the topic, the better and smarter your joke needs to be before it is just offensive and blows up in your face. And I think Ethan is doing the best he can walking the tight wire of still doing edgy comedy while trying to progress in the world rather than becoming calloused with cynical indifference. Anytime Ethan has offended his fans, or any group of people for that matter, for saying something ignorant or regrettable, I think he does a good job receiving feedback and changing. When fans were upset with him for being insensitive to a caller's comfortability being asked about their sexuality and making assumptions about them, by the next episode it was clear Ethan had read a lot of the feedback and felt genuinely guilty and gained perspective on how what he was saying was not very well thought out.
Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. A caller called in to explain why that whole thing is offensive, and I made insensitive remarks and jokes to him. After the episode ended, I talked to some people that I trust their opinion, who have good inputs about this stuff, and they explained to me kind of what I said was offensive, and or they explained it to me in a way that I understood, and kind of what I said wasn't appropriate and all this, and they explained to me that I should probably apologize, and explained why, and I thought that, I understood. So this is my heartfelt apology.
I am glad that you acknowledge, though, that, especially the thing with the caller and pushing him when he had established a boundary, I didn't like that happened either, and I'm glad that you see that was too far and that you accept that.
That's one great thing about the show being live, is he can gauge how the audience is feeling and read live chat or conduct polls to get a pulse of the show.
Now let's do a poll, okay?
And while he does not always agree with them, there has been a number of times he's decided to defer to how other people feel rather than being stubborn in his initial stance.
So I just want to apologize to everybody, and especially to Cutie, who I respect and actually think very highly of. And I'm very sorry, guys, and I'll continue to try to do better and be more mindful.
And this brings me to the final topic of why I think H3 has become the best podcast: the show's value of being a fan. Ethan evolving over time has led to a more broad audience.
Our audience, it's kind of crazy, I never expected it, but like it's predominantly women.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's 60% women, 40% men. So it's not crazy. It's almost like at 50-50.
I think it's a major accomplishment that a comedy show predominantly hosted by men can have an average viewership of 1 million people, and both hundreds of thousands of women and hundreds of thousands of men are enjoying it each week. I don't think it should be the goal of any comedian to push out 50% of the human population by making your comedy so uninviting that literally anyone with a vagina doesn't want to listen to you.
Oh man, you kissed a girl! That is so gay!
But who would have thunk? H3 has shown that yeah, you can make a fun, dumb show that jokes about Wendy Williams farting, Donald Trump coming, Howie Mandel showing anal prolapses that both men and women as well as LGBTQ people can all enjoy if you just work on not giving I'm a bad person ick. Not only does it feel rewarding to see Ethan grow as a person by listening to his fans' opinions, but having live chat for members has led to hilarious moments like recently when he doxed his own email and the entire chat was trying to save him. Also, when fans do great work, they often get shouted out on the show or even do official collaborations like commissioning an animation from Sori Sora to be on their channel after seeing how good her independent work was.
You don't pass me. This is my foot throne. 4,100 5-star ratings. You forget yourself.
There was even the time Ethan discovered a fan's music and took her streams from 25 plays on YouTube to now over 100,000 streams on Spotify. Even this has happened for myself a few times.
First of all, thank you to Tall Skeleton. Now,
There I am, Gary. There I am.
this is in stark contrast to other big channels like XQC, who has literally harmed small creators by re-uploading their content in full without permission. The show has really fostered such a passionate and creative atmosphere within its audience. The channel Undead Mummy has made gorgeous stop-motion short films out of Ethan's in-character rants as his southern character, Nathaniel Klansman.
Put my hands on his neck. Watched as the light left his eyes. As I looked on his lifeless body, I realized what I had done, but there was no going back at this point.
H3 has valued this creativity so much, they have created competitions to showcase their fans with the green screen editing competition, as well as a song remix competition. One of the winners of this contest blew them away so much they flew him all the way out from the UK to Los Angeles to shred on electric guitar with Zach in front of 3,500 people. And the entire reason that there was 2 winners to this contest was because it was too close to call at a near 50-50 margin.
It is 49% Lawman, wow. 51% Vampira. That's nuts. This is nuts. Closing in on 10,000.
And so they made sure to also interview the other winner, Vampira XOXO, and showcase some of her music during the episode. This contest really illustrates how much H3 takes advantage of every corner of the format they can. They make the most of their live setting by allowing the audience to participate in the show from home by voting on these annual contests, as well as daily polls when the crew is trying to settle an argument or decide which topic sounds the most interesting for the next segment.
Stop!
Also, many Patreons or memberships are just a way to support a creator you like, but do not always come with something extra. But if you give $5 to H3, you get a lot back. There's an exclusive bonus episode on Tuesdays, and the biggest perk of this extra show is we've gotten access to Ethan's email.
You guys are telling me to stop what? Chewing or messaging?
Ethan's phone number.
Yeah, this is Ethan. You're calling my personal number, so what do you want?
No, hey, I'm so sorry for calling. Now I feel like an asshole.
Love's phone number.
Did it say the whole thing or did I cut it off?
Ethan's debit card.
Bro, this is nuts, man. This is not okay.
I mean, hell, who knows how long till his dick just falls out of his shorts on live. Tuesday's episode also brought them up to 5 live shows a week. At an average length of 3 hours an episode, genuinely no one does it like this. Not Joe Rogan, not Jimmy Fallon. When their previous Thursday show went away, which was very popular and brought in lots of views, they took it as an opportunity to grow and bring in a new type of content. They created Leftovers with popular political streamer Hassan Piker and was able to create a show dedicated to politics. This is just another thing that makes the show so innovative to me as a podcast, because where it could have just been 2 people talking with microphones, it has become so much more. It's a full-on variety show with so many types of content to offer its fans. And although Thursday's show Leftovers recently has ended, they've already started brainstorming what could come next. Even the merchandising is unique with their official trading cards to Hila's high-quality, well-designed brand, Teddy Fresh. It's no wonder that their second live show ever sold out all of the seats in 7 seconds live on air. And they did so much to make it special for people by bringing out fan favorites and having fun with Craigslist Secret Santa.
That is the most cursed item we've come across today.
And it is attached to your soul.
needs
to end! I'm sorry.
Wait, what is it, Ian?
I don't really know.
The H3 podcast is so much more than a podcast. To me, it feels like a natural evolution of radio, podcasting, and even late-night television. Late-night shows have always had the format of covering the news, having segments with funny found items, interviewing celebrities, and having an interesting closing performance from musicians or comedians. But in this day and age, the corporate version of this just feels stale and out of touch most of the time. Late night does not understand internet culture hardly at all, and it is losing its ability to even make comedy out of Hollywood culture interesting. But H3 understands both, and that's why they're able to have on so many A-list guests in addition to their internet personalities. They create really special moments like bringing comedian Bobby Lee and TikToker Uncle Gabe in to coach Ethan while he boxes alt-rock pop artist Oliver Tree. And H3 has not been afraid of tackling some of these other content landscapes that for the longest time have been exclusive to late night television. Case in point, they dedicated a special stream to a music performance put on by legendary producer Flying Lotus, comedy musician improv extraordinaire Reggie Watts, and rising improv music star Mark Rebier. This was so unexpected and amazing, and was just such an embodiment of the limitless possibilities that excites me about watching H3 as a fan. And this episode truly had some beautiful moments.
It's been a hard day. Take it easy on my ass.
This wasn't just a historic episode in podcast history. In my opinion, this was just a historic performance in music history having these three guys together. What's even crazier to consider context-wise is this stream was the third of a legendary 3-episode run after their popular Thursday show Frenemies ended. After Frenemies' cancellation, the podcast channel posted 2 classic H3H3 Productions style comedy sketches. Then they did their first interview in a year with megastar Bella Porch. Then they owned right-wing nutjob Steven Crowder live on air so hard even his own fans said that he looked like a loser, which even inspired an entire animated short film. And then after all that, they get 3 of the biggest music legends in the world together for a one-time only 2-hour performance? I mean, talk about bouncing back and giving your show your all rather than just lying over and dying while you're down.
Did we record that?
No, we didn't record it. We streamed it.
Oh, shit.
Wow, Ethan, great moves. Keep it up. Proud of you.
Compared to other shows, H3 just feels special. I could list examples for a lot longer, but for the sake of brevity, I will repeat that the show innovates like none other through their commitment to pushing podcasts as a visual medium, hiring a stellar team, having an elite technical setup, by committing to comedy and constantly improving the show, developing as human beings and evolving, and finally, giving back to the fans and making it worth it to stick with the show. To be transparent, my dream right now would be to work for H3 as a video editor or graphic designer with Cameron, do cinematography and plan on things like comedy sketches with Ian, or do research and fact-checking with AB and Olivia. In any case, the show entertains me and inspires me as a filmmaker, and I would love to bring my skills to the team in any way that they thought could be helpful. Dan and Cameron, I had the pleasure of meeting you two at the Roxy back in May, and you said that I could email you. So I'm gonna do that at least one more time now that this video's out.
If you guys are still looking, what can I do to get you guys to look at my resume? Oh, brother. I have the background experience you're looking for. How do you know what I'm looking for?
Even if I never work for them, I just had to talk about how much this show excites me with its humor and originality, and how much their constant desire to improve the show inspires me. This was Zane Berry from Tall Skeleton. Have a nice night.
Nicely done, dude. Tall Skeleton. Still serving it.